Hello everybody, my name is Naisa and welcome to my YouTube channel. I make motherhood and lifestyle content here on YouTube and on Instagram. If it is your first time here, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe and join the family. If you are returning, I am back. I wasn't gone for too long, but I am back. I'm sorry I didn't upload. Life does kind of get in the way, and I've just been I feel like I'm fatigued. I can't even call it year-end like fatigue yet, but I just feel kind of overwhelmed with a lot of things that are going on. But anyway, we will do a catch-up and kind of like an update on what's going on in life in a different video. This video is a little bit different to what I usually do. This is a little bit more mommyhood focused, and it's also going to be great for the aunties, but it's more of an educational video that I felt like I should share because of this is something that we're currently going through, or we have been going through. It's kind of like a transitional period. And it's kind of such a weird topic, but an important topic, and that is toddler toys. So today I'm going to share with you some top toddler toys that I believe that are great for kids between the ages 12 and 24 months and older actually, but I'm going to keep it within the 12 and 24 months like age group, just in terms of developmental and these products kind of helping developing. But yeah, and these are also some of these items slash toys are ones that we have, and some of them are ones that we are getting for our daughter. For those that don't know, I actually have she's 18 months. So by the time this video is out, she'll be 18 months. Yeah, she'll be 18 months on the 1st of August. And yeah, so she's a year and a half. So these toys are pretty much appropriate for her. Some of them she's obviously had since she was just a little bit younger than 12 months. She was probably about 11 and a bit. And yeah. Now, before I kind of get into it, I want to explain how I pick toys. There are some toys that my daughter does have, some toys and items that she does have that are quite random, and those are specifically bought by her grandparents and anything cute that we might see. However, I have never actually personally bought her a toy that didn't have a specific function that I wanted her to gain from it. So I've always been cognizant of buying her toys. Toys are to be enjoyed, but I also believe that they need to stimulate some kind of developmental skill. And I've done lots of research in terms of kids' milestones and what to do and what activities to do to kind of get them to either reach those milestones or explore anything within those milestones. Does she always hit her milestones on target? No, she doesn't. In fact, for a lot of the time, Gabo has either been pretty ahead or pretty behind, but not in a worrisome way. So she has gone to all of her pediatrician appointments. So I've never been really concerned. I've been very gentle and graceful with her, and very gentle and graceful with myself. I was an au pair, for those that don't know. I au paired for quite a few families growing up. Since I got a car, I started au pairing. And I've always been a believer and a lover of the Montessori kind of school system and education and world of teaching, learning, and play. Another school of thought that I enjoy for play and learning is the Waldorf system. So Montessori is more educational, but it's also more real life. It's focused on having the child join you with real life activities and to actually experience things that you would do in a real life scenario and bringing it to play. Waldorf, on the other hand, is more about imaginative and play pretend and kind of exploring that creative side. So you can see how both worlds would beautifully blend. One thing that both schools of thoughts have is like all natural wooden toys, which I was all for it. And I told myself before having kids, I was going to be that neutral wooden mom when it came to toys and just overall like what she's surrounded by. However, now that I have a child, the realistic thing is I can only do so many wooden things, and I see how my child loves some things that are actually bright and colorful, and I've seen how they've actually added to her developing and her speech, funny enough. So before I get into all of that, I'm not an expert. I'm just a mom who happens to enjoy reading and happens to enjoy researching and sharing that research. And this is everything that is basically based on things that I've read and things that we're experiencing and trying out in our home. So the top toys that I believe are really great for toddlers, for kids 12 months to 24 months, are ones that, again, like I said, my daughter either has them, we've ordered them, or it's being made, which I think is just one that's being made. Yeah, so going into this video, just remember again, we have done a bit of a blend with the basis of Waldorf and Montessori learning and teaching and play, but mainly play and learning. It's nothing like rigid and strict. It's just me being cognizant of what she's getting from using these items. So before I go into the video, I just want to put it out there. I'm not going to actually show you physically the items, but however, I will put a picture up and you can kind of reference it. On the Mama & Co page, I will tag the places that you can actually buy these toys if you're interested, and I'll tag the brands. So look out for that. So the first item is a bag of jumbo blocks. We bought Gabo a bag of jumbo blocks when she was 11 months. Yeah, she was about 11 months. It was one of her Christmas presents. And we basically bought them for her so that she can explore putting things together, because she was at a space, not walking yet, but she was mobile and she was working on her fine motor skills. And these jumbo blocks kind of help not only the child not swallow the item, but also just get bored of putting it in their mouth, but also figure out putting them together. Our daughter didn't grasp the putting it together first. In fact, me and her dad enjoyed playing with it and building stuff more than she did, and she would actually pull things apart. So she learned how to tear things apart before she learned to put things together. And only now that she was turning about 15, 16 months did she actually get the idea of putting it together and, adding, making things of it. So this is a great random toy to have for me for a couple of reasons. They're plastic, so she can actually take it into the bath with her, and she ends up putting some water in it and spilling water, which is also a part of sensory play. Even though it's not a Montessori Waldorf thing, but they are bright and colorful, which I think we benefited from them being bright and colorful because she actually learned colors using these. There aren't a lot of colors in these ones. We got the random ones. We didn't get like the pink, purple girl specific ones. We just got the neutral ones. And she learned red, she learned orange, green, and blue and yellow using those blocks. Another thing that was great for them is she actually learned how to count because of the bag of blocks. Her nanny and her, every single time they would pack up, my nanny would actually say, let's pack up, Gabo, let's count and pack up, and they would actually put 1, 2, and she kind of got the sequencing of 1, 2, 3, 4, because of the bag of blocks. And also when she took it out, her nanny would say, let's only take out 3, and she would go 1, 2, 3. So the bag of blocks I 100% recommend. Another thing that you can get, another benefit from these bag of blocks, is that you can kind of group things, and we can say today we're only playing with red blocks, and then you play with just 5 red blocks, and there she's learned that there's the color red and that there are 5 of them, and how to count 5 and possibly what having 5 pieces of item in front of you look like. So that is why it's a thumbs up from us, and it is a highly recommended thing. Yeah, and it's great. She also learned, which is random and I just mentioned, she also learned that it's what packing up is, because the bag of blocks has its own bag. Every single time it's time to clean up, she knows that everything has its place. We kind of taught her that everything has a place. The blocks go in the bag, so once you're done playing with them, pack it away. So those are the benefits that we got from the bag of blocks. Another thing I recommend is a table and chair. This is definitely something that is based off of Gabo's personal interest. However, I do believe that this is a great item because once kids are mobile and walking, they tend to like to do what you do. And our child likes to sit and have her snacks, and that's something that she just saw us doing. She saw us going from the kitchen to the coffee table, sitting on the couch, putting a table down and eating, or putting a drink down and eating. So that is one of the things that I feel like, based on what she was seeing at home, she started to enjoy. So table and chair is great because they also have their own section. This is also one of the items that I haven't actually bought, that I have bought it, but we just bought the random like cheap one from Cardi's, but I've ordered her wooden one that I actually want to use for her classroom setup as well, a more formal thing. So yeah, this item is great because kids also like to sit, and I realized that she would get so much joy from just sitting on the little plastic chair I bought her and say, "Sitting, mommy, sitting," and she enjoys that. And then another thing she saw is that I tend to get my laptop and get my work stuff, sit at a table, sit at a chair and work and write. So that's something that, you know, that she ended up doing, is that she would ask for a pen and a pen and a paper, and quickly go to a chair, pull it out and put it by the coffee table and sit. So I figured, get her own set and she can kind of enjoy that real life experience of what mom and the whole family are doing. Another item that is a little bit more on the expensive side, but it is a really great item. It's a Pikler triangle and slide. I don't know if it's Pikler or Pikler, one of the two. Pikler triangle and slide. This is how it looks. So Pikler triangle and slide is amazing and pretty fantastic because you can kind of use it indoors. So we got ours a couple of months ago, and it's been really great for our family because it is winter. Well, by the time we got it, it was winter. We're going into warmer weather now, but it has been fantastic for my daughter who wants to move around inside and keep busy. So the nice thing about this is that the slide part, actually you can flip it around and make it a literal slide, or you can kind of like flip it the other way around and make it like a ladder to crawl up. The best part about this item is not only do you get to have your child get active and be like mobile inside and not get bored because they can't necessarily go outside on some days when it's super cold, but in the summer as well you can when it's raining. So I love this item. As expensive as it is, as an expensive item as it is, I do believe it is quite an investment, and it's something that you can pass down to your other kids, and something that they can use from the time that they can actually walk to a little bit of an older age. I believe, looking at it, it's probably going to last her until she's about 4, and she'll probably start to stress me and start jumping off of it, but it is a great investment and I highly recommend it. It's also great just for her gross motor skills. I think when I chose to buy it is because I saw she had interest in climbing on our couch. She had interest in climbing on tables, which is obviously not necessarily a good thing because kids aren't supposed to be climbing on tables. However, we can't stop that skill, and that we can't stop that skill developing, and that's why I decided, let's just get her a Pikler triangle and slide, and she can actually use it and develop that skill. Another thing that I believe is another item toy that I think is quite important is puzzles. Puzzles are fantastic. So we went the route of not getting your ordinary puzzles that connect because I believe that she was a little bit too small. However, I did get her one that is just a normal board, well, you can see it, and that she can actually fit things into. So this is great for fine motor skills because it teaches a child to put things where they belong. It kind of teaches shapes, and it teaches like, okay, this is shaped like this, it should go in there, does it fit in here? So it kind of plays on those skills, the fine motor skills, which is very important at the age that they're in, because putting things into, like I said with the blocks, putting things where they belong, where they should be, is quite a nice way to kind of get your child to develop on track. Now, with us, the ones that I decided to buy, I went ahead and bought shapes, the ABCs, and numbers. So this was great because it's killing two birds with one stone. She gets to see what a triangle looks like and put a triangle in a triangle hole, and put a circle in a circle hole. Put number 1 in the 1 hole and number 2 in the 2 hole. So with that, it means she's learning not only to develop her fine motor skills, but she's also learning that, hey, this is a triangle, this is what a triangle looks like. It's obviously nothing strict and something that you kind of push them to be like triangle. No, you're very graceful, and you take it as it comes with it, and you almost do it yourself until they kind of see. They'll also, something I noticed with my daughter, she'll also do it as much as she can, and she gets it wrong. In the beginning, she was honestly just banging because she saw mommy putting things, and she wasn't focused on that. She just wanted to bang. But now she's at that age where she actually can associate what a triangle looks like as a little puzzle and on the board that it belongs to. So that's really a nice thing. That's more educational than a toy, but it's a toy, you know, it's a more educational toy than a play toy. So it would be more on the Montessori side. Another item that I believe is so important, which I have shared on my Mama & Co page, and this is possibly my favorite item of all in our home, and I think it's safe to say that everybody in the house loves this, is a learning tower. Now, a learning tower is also a little bit more on the expensive side, and it's also one of the larger items. However, I 100% believe once your child is mobile and can actually walk, a learning tower is vital. Now, this is more of a Montessori thing because it allows the child to actually be involved with every single day activities. I have spoken about it on the Mama & Co page and why it is my highly recommended product. For us, we are a family that my dad cooks a lot and he's very active in the kitchen. And I like to bake with Gabo. It's just a thing that I enjoy doing with her. And my helper is with her throughout the day, and she has chores to do like washing dishes, packing the dishes. And having a child around that's mobile and walking, it's sometimes we were finding that Gabo would sometimes get sad because she can't see what's happening at our level. She can see that we're doing something and washing dishes. She can see grandpa's cooking and grandpa's telling her I'm cooking. Of course you can pick her up, put her on your hip, but it restricts you. So Learning Tower was a great add to our home because we could actually put her in the Learning Tower and she could see what's happening. She could feel involved with the daily activities that we're doing, but she could actually also join in. So it was a great thing to teach her, like, oh, there's kind of like chores, and this is what we're doing, and this is how you wash dishes. Oh, be careful. Obviously, we're not going to throw her at the stove and let her near something boiling, but when she chops with grandpa on a Sunday, chops veggies with grandpa, it's kind of cute. It's never easy and it's never clean. It's sometimes quite messy, especially when I'm baking with her, but it's a nice fun activity that allows her to feel like she's part of the family and not left out. It's also really great for us to get a break instead of carrying her and putting her on the counter, because that can kind of be dangerous. So it is a safe way to get your child involved in everyday activities, and I highly recommend that most families look into it. We are blessed because we do live in a home, but it is something that I would take to an apartment, something that I would take to a townhouse because of how valuable it is. It's also an item that a child will use from the time that they are able to walk all the way up until they like tall enough to do things themselves. So I 100% recommend this. It is my favorite. We got the Arc and Able Learning Tower, which is fantastic because it turns into a seat like a seat and table, which is really, really cute. We don't use the seat and table aspect. We only use 2 of the 3 functions that it has. We use it as a learning tower for her to be involved, and then we also use it as a chalkboard, which I think it's quite cute. The next couple of items that I'm going to list, these are more focused on Gabo's personal interests that I have picked up, or that I picked up along, and that kind of motivated me to either order them, get them made, or buy them. Excuse me. So yeah, so these items, even though they are kind of focused on my daughter's interest, they are items I do also highly recommend, because I think it's just the age that kids are at where they start to develop these interests. So the first one would be a play kitchen. Now, my daughter, again, like I've mentioned, she sees that we are busy people in the kitchen. However, she understands the concept of cooking, and also based off of some screen time that she sees. So she actually uses these random pot plants and these random pot plants that my dad has, and she gets a wooden spoon and she cooks in there, and she says, "Cooking, mommy, cooking," which is all cute and well and pretend. But I figured, you know what, since we're doing a playroom for her, and since she's consistently shown that she enjoys cooking and the idea of cooking and the concept, let's actually get her her own thing. This is more a pricey buy, and it is more on the bigger side as well. However, it's one of those things that you can kind of get together as a family and either get it for their first birthday, either get it together with aunties and uncles, or with grandpas and grandmas. It is something that you can kind of all put money together, because this is quite of an expensive one. So I went the route of actually just getting it made instead, because it was cheaper to get a bigger one made instead of getting like a really small one. It is also an item that can be passed down, and if kids have siblings, if kids have friends that come over, they can play with it all together. So that is why I was more than happy to invest in it, because Gabo has friends that are around her age that come over and we have play dates, and I think it will be fun for them to cook together. And again, that's where it comes in that little table that we ordered, where they can sit and have their meals together, and she can cook for mom and dad, and we can sit and have the meals with her. So everything kind of falls into place. This item is more of a Waldorf item, because it's, you know, using your not imagination, but it's more of a play pretend item, and we're pretending we're in the kitchen. It is a wooden item. I did get the all neutral wooden natural item, which is environmentally safe and fantastic. However, the essentials, the smaller pieces that I got, like the pots, the food, those are plastic and just more random, and they are colorful. And the reason I opted for that is because I wanted to know that corn is yellow, apples are red, apples are green, peas are green. So I did end up getting plastic things, just plastic items from Take A Lot that she can actually just cook in her neutral kitchen. Another item that I got, which is also more on this is also to kind of develop a skill and to kind of just explore the fun side and creative side of a child's brain, is a sensory bin, a sensory table with sensory bins. So I got the one from Kids Living. It is the most popular one. It is an IKEA inspired one. This is fantastic for both summer and winter. So it's great in winter because you can bring it inside and you can use dry sensory stuff like rice, colorful rice, noodles, whatever inside the house that's kind of like messy but mess free. And then it changes to a little standing table that you can use for activities, which I feel like it's something that we will do. And then in summer, which I can't wait, is to take it outside and do some water play, where we put some water in it, where we put some squidgies in it, and she can kind of get wet and messy when she's outside. So this is a nice one. One would say that, is it necessary to get a sensory table if you have a normal table? Well, yeah, because you've got the sensory bins, and what you can do is kind of restrict your child, not restrict, but you can kind of teach your child that the sensory table, though it turns into a normal table, it will become a craft table. So when you flip it on top, when you put the little table parts on top, it will become a craft table. So maybe she'll be able to weave bracelets, play with beads and things like that the older that she gets, color on there. Another item on the topic of coloring, because my daughter sees me writing a lot and she sees me writing down my to-do list, writing down notes, she's kind of gained a love for coloring and writing and reading, and that's what's driven me to actually invest in some coloring books and coloring pencils, which works fantastic with a table and chair, because we can then make that association of when you sit at your table and chair, that's when you color, not on walls. So coloring books and coloring crayons are something that she's kind of interested in now, because she's enjoying the writing phase. She's obviously so young, she doesn't know like how to write, it's just more scribbles. But again, we're developing that skill of holding, and we're developing that skill of writing and that motion, so it's fantastic. It's quite soon for 18 months, but it's okay. She can do whatever she wants with it and just kind of work on that skill. Another thing that my daughter has seen me do, and my dad do, her grandpa do, and her dad do, and just all of us, is be on our phones, and whether it is texting, whether it's on the phone, whether it is FaceTime, because she FaceTimes dad, grandma, you know. And so I swore I would just never be that mom that got noisy toys, and I didn't get this for her, her grandmother did, but I'm glad she did. It is a fake phone. It is a bit of a fine line, because it's like, are we teaching kids to like screen time? But it's like, you know what? That's the reality of life, is that we actually have phones and we are in a world of technology. It is a digital world. So we got her a fake phone so that when mommy's on her phone and busy, she can also be on her phone and busy, instead of harassing me for mine. And it's a nice thing, because then I don't actually have to give my daughter my phone, which I don't believe in. When she wants my phone, I say, go get Gabbo's phone. And she goes and she gets Gabbo's phone. Another thing is a fake iPad that we got her. We don't believe in getting kids iPads. It doesn't make sense. That's just not in our family's stuff, not in our family's beliefs. So I will get her an iPad. God, if I can wait until she's like 14, that would be fantastic. But yeah, so we got her a fake iPad, because she tends to see mom on her laptop working, or she tends to see my dad on his laptop working. And so when we don't want her banging our keyboards, we say, where's Gabbo's laptop? And she goes and she gets the iPad. I'm almost done. Another thing we got is a bookshelf. This is purely based on Gabbo's interests, which is so wild. You would get a bookshelf because it's the right thing to do. Kids should be reading, learning, you know, we should read to our kids and story time and all of that. But my daughter genuinely enjoys reading. She obviously can't read, but she understands the motion of getting a book, opening it up and flipping page to page, which is so amazing as a mom, and I love to see that. So we have gotten her a bookshelf, which we are going to set up for her in her playroom. And she'll basically have a selection of books to go and pick from, which is incredible, because now I can even ask, when people ask, what should we get Gabbo, or what is Gabbo interested in, I can kind of just ask them, hey, please can you get her a book, so she can have like them on rotation. This is really, really also great for kids language and building language. You should read to your kids. We're guilty of like being lazy to read to her, but because she's so interested in reading, it's something that I actually can't run away from, and I actually need to build on that skill. And that is why I've chosen to get her a bookshelf and create a little reading nook for her, to have a bunch of books to select from that she can read on her own, which she does. She'll grab a book and she'll sit and she'll just flip through by herself, but also so that we can read to her. Another random item that we got for Gabbo. Gabbo has shown a lot of interest in baby right now, and she just loves baby. If she sees a baby when she's on a walk, she goes, baby, and she points to babies, and she understands that there's this thing, baby. However, I did notice that when she interacts with babies, she's not gentle. which is normal because she's a toddler and she doesn't understand the concept that this baby is fragile. So I have chosen to get her a baby doll so that she understands that baby, you can't poke at baby, you have to be gentle with baby, you have to care for baby. Hi baby, shh, shh baby. So she does that with her teddies. So I figured, let's just get her a baby doll, be cute. And she's a girl, and what mom doesn't like to see a little girl with a baby doll? I was actually reading on this interest for toddlers and babies, and it's actually really recommended for those moms that are about to have another child and that are worried about what's going to happen with this child. Is my child going to like this baby? Get them a baby doll so that you actually teach them to not only be gentle with baby, but this is what happens with baby. Baby cries, we change baby, we bath baby, and they can kind of feel involved in the process of having a baby. The 12th and final item, which is a recent buy, and I'm so excited for this one, is a play pod. So a play pod is like these play couch cushion things, which can be a couch or they can be like things that you build with. So the reason I was adamant on getting this for Gabo is not only is it a nice add-on to her playroom to kind of give it like that couch feel, but it's also like based on, she has been tearing my dad's cushions apart, my dad's couch apart, and I see that she likes to pull things down and climb on things and make things of cushions, and I figured that is exactly what a play pod is for. She is at the age. I actually thought she was so young until I started seeing her use it. So a play pod is kind of great because she'll be able to build with it. It can keep her busy for hours. She can kind of have soft landings, and she can just leave grandpa's couch alone. So I believe that a play pod is a really nice investment for a family, because when you have multiples, as well, a friend of mine who has 2 kids, they love building stuff with it and playing pretend, and they make a car out of it or a bus out of it. They make a house out of it. They make a few different things out of these cushions, because it's what it allows, and it allows play pretend, and it allows kids to use their imagination, but it also gets them very active and busy and using certain parts of their bodies that are like really, really active, which is a great thing for kids, because then they get to move around, they get to build that muscle. I'm not saying they need to be gymming, but they get to actually be building muscle and building those gross motor skills that kids should be developing at this age anyway. I wouldn't get it for a 12-month-old, but I would get it for an 18-month-old and up. And this is something that they can use up until they're quite big, because it changes into a chair, it changes into a lounger. When you've got boys and, you know, they start playing video games, they'll probably just play around and lie on there. And also, it's a really great place for nap time, I feel like I can see it being a really nice spot for random spot for nap time in like a playroom. I don't know. Anyway, those are the top items and toys that I believe are great for kids between the ages 12 months and 24, actually a little bit older. They obviously all have their own benefits and developing certain skills and stimulating certain things in a child's development. But again, I'm no expert. I'm just a mama who likes to read. I'm a mama who likes to research, and I'm also just going based off of experience and seeing what's happening with my daughter. I do believe that these are great items, and like I said in the beginning, I don't just buy random things. I buy things that are suited towards my child's needs, and also suited towards stimulating a milestone. And some of the items I did buy are not for kids this age. They are for kids a little bit older, but you kind of just gauge your child and see what's happening. This is not a video to kind of make mamas feel bad that, oh, my child is not doing. Absolutely not. This is simply to just encourage that and to see maybe we can shift our way of thinking of when we're buying toys. We're not just buying toys to distract the child, but we're actually buying toys to stimulate a skill that they should be developing. And yeah, that's just the school of thought that I've gone with, is that when I buy toys, it's okay for the toy to be fun, but it's also okay for the toy to not only be distracting, but to actually be educational and a skill developing item. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I know it is probably a mouthful and something completely different to what you're used to on this channel. However, I actually did enjoy doing a video like this, and I hope that this is something that is helpful to families out there, and I hope that this is something that you will share with friends and aunties. If you guys are watching this, it's something that you'll share with another mama, or you will say, let's put together some money for a learning tower for our little girl or for our little guy. But yeah, anyway, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please, I love to see this channel grow. So please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.